My name's Greg Beffert, and I'm a resident here of Havasu, and I have a couple questions for you. Two questions, actually. The first one is, in light of the tyrannical overreach of government all over, not just in the United States, but all over the world, and I know you're aware of this, where now law enforcement officers are kicking in doors or arresting people for not wearing masks, the mandatory vaccinations, vaccine passports. We can go down the list of all of the tyrannical overreach that we're experiencing now in this world. Unless you watch CNN or Fox News, you won't hear any of this. Okay, so the narrative on COVID-19 has collapsed. In front of our very eyes, it's collapsing every day. There's more and more pushback from citizens. Go look at the demonstrations in Ireland, in England, in Australia, in France, in Italy, and they're coming here to the United States as well. Now, having said that, this tyrannical overreach of the Biden administration and the things he's attempting to do here, my question to you is that the narrative. Right now, we currently have a local emergency proclamation in place that supports this narrative. We have no pandemic in Havasu, and we established that we didn't have one to begin with when this declaration was announced. So my question to you is, why and what metrics, since we do still have it out here, what metrics would it take for you to rescind this local emergency proclamation that never should have existed to begin with? That's the first question. The second question is, why has there been a reluctance from this council, with the exception of Nancy Campbell, to bring this matter before the council for a discussion? I understand the political pickle that you're in with this whole thing, and now all of a sudden, if I say that there is we can lift this mandate here, I don't want to put people, at ease here. Well, it's time to quit the lie. It's time to stop the lie, start telling people the truth, and again, why has there not been a discussion? Why has that been thwarted? She made an attempt to bring it up in a council meeting, and she got shut down. I want to know the position of this city council in terms of where you stand on the narrative and where you stand on the tyrannical overreach. Where do you stand on it? Are you going to mandate your employees to get vaccines? Are you going to mandate, we've seen it here in this town now. Go look at a grocery store, sign right there in front of Smith's. If you're unvaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. This medical apartheid has got to end. It's got to end. So that's my question. Again, it's two parts. If you could address those, please.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so when it comes to COVID and what that looks like in Lake Havasu City, I think the position of the council and the city can be felt every single day, that our citizens have the ability to make their personal choices that make sense for them and their families. And that's where our approach has been throughout this entire process. We've taken a very level-headed, common sense approach, balancing all of the issues throughout the pandemic, throughout our community, throughout the entire process. And we'll continue to do that as things evolve. When it comes to the state of emergency that we currently have in a place in Lake Havasu City, is there's still uncertainty around what all of the pieces mean for Lake Havasu City from the federal level, from the different funding mechanisms in which they have. We've not asked for any of this money. We have not identified a need for any of this money. We have not advocated for any of this money. But we need to balance and make sure that we're being prudent and doing what's in the best interest of all of our citizens. That's why the local proclamation of a state of emergency, knowing that we're still in a declared pandemic at the federal level, is still in place. But I do look at it regularly, and I understand. But our approach has been such that our citizens have the ability to make their choices as they deem appropriate throughout this entire process, and we'll support you and meet you where you're at throughout that. Do we have a microphone?
We need a microphone. We need a microphone.
Yeah.
But nobody can hear you.
Yeah, we just let's get this. Let's get the microphone over. And
you all right? Okay. First of all, it was a two-part question. You didn't answer the first one to begin with. You didn't answer it. There is no rationale for having. You just sat and spent the last 20 minutes talking about state overreach and federal overreach and how they are putting their thumb on top of the local governments here, and you can't make decisions. This is one you can make. You have the ability. You wrote the proclamation. you have the ability to rescind it. Okay, you do. You by your own hand. My concern and the second question is, why have we not had a conversation from the rest of these council members about this situation? Why have we not? And what metric would it take then for you to lift it? You're depending on the federal government, the CDC and the WHO and Fauci. This is who you're getting your information from? Have you abdicated your consciousness, your ability to think and make personal decisions about what's best for Lake Havasu City? Is that what I'm hearing?
I know, Greg, you're putting a lot of words in my mouth that I never said. I didn't mention Fauci once today, who or any of those things. Yeah, so, Greg, I understand your position on that. The council hasn't asked for the local emergency to be reviewed at the council level. I don't know what you're referring to otherwise, but we're mindful of it. We ask our citizens to do what's right for them and make their choices. So, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.